Hey guys, it's me, the Big B again. Right, another new video this time, and again, a different phone. I managed to pick myself up one of these. It's the Xperia X10 Mini Pro. Now, to do what I've done on this, you have to have the Mini Pro. This won't just work on the Mini or the X8. And the thing, the Mini Pro is obviously the one with the slide-out keyboard, as so. Now, as you know, this comes with pre-installed with 1.6 version of the firmware, and they've just done 2.1, but that wasn't good enough for me. As you know, if you're watching any of the other videos, I like to mess on a little bit, and I like apps to SD because you don't get a lot of memory in these things, and you can't install a great deal, obviously, unless you got one of the modern ones, and you do have 2.2 and 2.3 firmware, and the new 3.0 when it comes out. So what I've got on here is a modified ROM 2.2. Everything's working, everything's fine, apps to SD working fine. It's overclocked, it's all built into the ROM. You don't need a set CPU or nothing like that, it's all built in. Now the only thing you have to have a certain baseband version and things, and you have to be on the original 2.1 fresh stock ROM. Now you need to root it, which is fairly easy. This one-click root and things you can do, that's easy. Getting the recovery image on, which obviously you need to flash custom ROMs, is easy, but not as easy as some of the others. I'll put a link in to the exact place you need to go to get the ROM and how to install it, and from there you can sort of find out how to do the root and put the recovery image on. The recovery image was just to download it. You get 3 files and you put them on the root of your SD card. And then you download an APK, like a program that installs, and it's a physical running program. You run that, and then it'll install it for you. It took us a little bit of time to figure that out, but eventually I figured it out, and it works fine. Now, what this has also got is what a lot of people are harping on about, is the new animation when you put your phone into standby and unlock it. On 2.3, I believe, Gingerbread, you got what's called the CRT animation, which makes it look like when it's shutting, the screen shutting down, like it shrinks the screen into a little white line, and then that goes into a dot like an old CRT TV. I'll try and show you that. You see the white line there that appeared? It's very hard to see. It doesn't do it when you're shutting down for some reason, because there's a slight bug where if you've got the brightness turned down or you've got the auto brightness thing on, it doesn't work properly. But what I'll do is I'll show you the other stuff with the brightness down so you can see the screen, then I'll turn it up and show you that animation working properly. Now what you can see straight away is my lock screen is slightly different. It's got more than one unlock. It's got it'll go off quickly, unfortunately. I'll have to keep pressing the button, which is a bit of a bugbear. You've got the normal slide to unlock the phone, that side, and that side you mute, to mute it like normal. But up here I have go straight to the phone, like the phone dialer, or to answer a call, and the other one, this one, I'm working backwards here, it's mirrored, takes you straight to text messaging, and you can user define them to whatever you want. Now as you can see, I've come out and I'm not on the standard 4-corner icon things that you normally associate with the Xperia Mini and the Mini Pro. When you do this ROM, it comes standard with Launcher Pro, but I don't like Launcher Pro. I've got this one, which is ADW Launcher X, and what you get is you can do fancy animations like that. As you can see, as I'm swiping from one screen to the next one, it actually rotates very nicely. Nice little effect. And with this ROM as well, another bonus, has multi-touch built in, which the phone doesn't normally have. So you pinch like that. If I can do it, I'm doing it backwards. You get the pinch to zoom to go and opens the tiles up so you can go to any page. Really cool. Modified drop down loader with see-through background and things. Really nice. You've got your menu screen that's in slightly 3D there, as you can see. It's got like a 3D cut off at the top. Again, non-standard. And all the animations are switched on. Whenever you do anything, and say you do something, and a box needs to come up with information in it, doesn't just appear like as normal, it actually zooms in out the distance and then fades away. It's like all fancy effects built in, which is really cool. Market and everything working fine, everything's working spot on. AppleNet working fine. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything's working. Camera, on some of the other mods, the camera doesn't work or the flash doesn't work. They haven't quite sorted it out yet, but with this version of this mod, everything seems to be working fine, and I'm really happy with it. Well, as you can see, you can just do all sorts. Those transition effects. You get the free clock, which is out of gingerbread version, and you can, this animation here, you can change that to, there's about 8 built in, but I found this was one of my favourites, and as you can see, it's really smooth. Now, I was talking about overclocking. In the settings, your standard settings, which you can see there, there's a one called Synogen Mod Settings, which is just for like this sort of thing. I'll try and get in close. As you can see, you've got lots of different nice things you can do, but the main one is performance. It's just a disclaimer. And you've got JIT enabled, which I would leave enabled at all times if I was you. Speeds things up, and you go in here and you've got minimum CPU frequency and maximum. And when you click them, this is very hard to see. You've got a list of values: 710 megahertz, 730, 740, ranging all the way from sort of like the lowest right up to the highest. Now, the phone as standard is normally it's 600 megahertz. I've got this running at 710 at the minute, and it's fine. I mean, it is absolutely spot on, really good. No flaws, nothing's force closed, so it's running 710 max, but when I shut the screen down, I've got it so it then runs at about 300 megahertz to save a bit battery power. Right, I'll show you this boot up animation thing I was telling you about. So when you click it, you see you get the white line, then you get it like shuts down, you get it goes to the white line and shuts down like an old CRTV. Everyone was harping on about that, and it's a very simple thing, but it's effective. It does work. Like I say, once you've rooted, once you've got the recovery thing on, the recovery is then built into this. When you normally shut your phone down, if you hold the thing and shut your phone down as normal, which is not going to do for us, now I'm trying to do it, that's normally the case. I'll just get it on for you, so I want you to actually see it. There, you've got like, again, it's very hard to see because the screen brightness, but you've got your normal power off the phone, silent mode, and you've got reboot. But when you put reboot, you can either just reboot the phone or you can reboot into recovery mode. So you can automatically reboot into recovery mode without having to do the thing I said before where you've got to press the back button once you're booting up. Because when you originally put the recovery image on, to boot it, you have to boot the phone up, like I said, and when you get to the white Sony Ericsson, you've got to keep pressing the back button, and then it'll boot into recovery mode. But once this is done, you don't have to do that. You can just reboot directly into it, which is really cool. But I mean, anyone who's got one of these, or has got someone who knows someone who's got one, you know what it originally looks like. You've got the 4 icons in the corner, and you've got a couple of screens left and right. It's very basic. It's alright, it's functional, but it's just basic. Well, what you've seen there is totally different. It's like a totally different phone, and it's really fast. I'm really impressed with it, and I think everything just seems to work fine. Even with the underclocking when it's on standby, because of all the other features going, you do sacrifice a little bit of battery life, but I was playing with it for ages, and I mean, I was really giving it some hammer to test a lot of the features, and it still lasted all day, and that was with giving it some hammer. So you lose a bit of battery life, but not a lot. To me, it's worth losing that little bit of battery life to gain all those extra features. And again, some really cool features when you look at it, that the thing for over brightness, so you can actually make the screen go brighter than it was actually meant to do, because I like a nice bright screen when I'm on my phones, and that's a really nice little feature. Obviously other people did as well. But like I said, I'll put a link to the exact page to download this ROM. There's 2 versions of it now. There's this 1.0 which you flash first, which is the full ROM, and then there's a hotfix, and the hotfix is for the overclocking, because when you first put the ROM on and you go to the overclocking bit to pick your overclock, nothing shows up in the list. The amounts are missing, but it was just a small bug. He did a hotfix which you flash via the recovery image, as it per instructions, and it works fine. And this is only going to get better, this ROM. I mean, it is a really nice ROM. And they are working on 2.3 as well, and possibly someone's actually got like a, must be an early version, but 3.0 running on these things, which I find really odd. The phone companies say, oh, it's only going to get 2.1 because it can't run anything else. It's not capable. The phone's not upgrade. I'm running 2.2 there with a load of modifications, 3D effects, just loads of stuff, and it's running fine. And even without it being overclocked. Oh, sorry, I keep rubbing my nose, but I've got an itchy nose. I've got a cold coming again. Even at the stock 600, it's fine. It works really well, and it's really smooth. I just overclocked it really because I could, and the feature's there, and it does help in some of the games, obviously. So I'm really chuffed. It may be a small phone, not one of the best spec, but when you can do that sort of thing fairly easily with it, it makes it like a new phone. It's a pleasure to use. Some really nice features. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, because this is getting long. I'm not going into a big thing of like telling you how to do it. I'll send you to the right place. XDA developers, and remember, Mini Pro, the one with the keyboard only. Don't try this on the normal X10 Mini, the one without the slider kit, because it will not work. Follow the instructions. XDA developers has everything you need to know about these phones and about everything you can do with them. So do what I do. Read. Don't just, you know, if you're not sure about something, don't do it. You can send us some questions. I'm not going to put a full tutorial on how to do it because it would be a hell of a long video, and all the instructions is already there, and it's not that difficult as long as you follow the instructions, guys, right? But you know, you can send us some messages if you get really stuck, and I'll try and point you the best I can. But it's well worth doing. It's like a totally different phone, and you've also got like the AppleNet on there, which works fine on the new firmware and things. So you've got all your stuff if you want it for free, and really spot on. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, and if I figure anything else out, or the new 2.3 ROM becomes more stable, I might try that, and definitely 3.0 if they get that working. That'll be awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. Like I say, any questions, just leave them. I'll help you if I can, and just follow the link and you should be fine.